Won't we play? Won't we play?
Oynamayacak mıyız?
Could you feed? Could you feed?
Besleyebildin mi?
They were not occasional illustrators. They were not occasional illustrators.
Ara sıra illüstratör olmadılar.
Our stepfather is a stockbroker. Our stepfather is a stockbroker.
Üvey babamız borsacı.
We couldn't ignore it a week ago. We couldn't ignore it a week ago.
Bir hafta önce görmezden gelemezdik.
Was I a physiologist every day? What if I become a physiologist every day?
Her gün fizyolog oluyorsam.
No afternoon esthetician. No afternoon esthetician.
Öğlen estetisyen olamaz.
Is your aunt a vocalist? Is your aunt a vocalist?
Teyzen vokalist mi?
Were our siblings sociologists? Our brothers can be sociologists?
Kardeşlerimiz sosyolog olabilirsiniz.
Was your grandson a wrestler? Grandson's wrestler extension?
Torunun güreşçi uzatması.
They won't come after midnight. They won't come after midnight.
Bir gece yarısı sonra gelmeyecekler.
Your grandson is a lawyer. Your grandson is a lawyer.
Torununuz avukat.
They will install it in 2 years. They will install it in 2 years.
2 yıl sonra kuracaklar.
Her sister is a maid. Sister maid.
Kardeş hizmetçi.
Your grandparents are lumberjacks. Your grandparents are lumberjacks.
Senin dedelerin oduncu.
Will it not produce? Will it not produce?
Üretmeyecek mi?
Disappeared a year ago? Disappeared a year ago?
Bir yıl önce mi kaybolmuştu?
We couldn't ignore it a week ago. We couldn't ignore it a week ago.
Bir hafta önce görmezden gelemezdik.
Have you been brewing before? Have you had beer before?
Daha önce bira mı yaşıyorsunuz?
Your stepmother is a lawyer. Your stepmother is a lawyer.
Üvey annen avukat.
Our half-brother is a travel agent. Our half-brother is a travel agent.
Üvey kardeşimiz seyahat acentesidir.
They had rested a year ago. They did a year ago.
Bir yıl önce dinlediler.
Monthly technician required. Monthly technician required.
Aylık teknisyeni gerekir.
Isn't he a translator after 5 centuries? Isn't he a translator after 5 centuries?
5 asır sonra tercüman değil mi?
I won't find out in 4 months. I won't find out in 4 months.
4 ay sonra öğrenemeyeceğim.
You're kicking at sunset. You're kicking at sunset.
Gün batımında bir tekme atıyorsun.
I can never end up. I can never end up.
Asla sonuçlanabilirim.
Is her stepbrother a doctor? Is her stepbrother a doctor?
Üvey kardeşi doktor mu?
Loses often. Often often.
Sık sık sık sık.
Were his parents statisticians? Family statistician data?
Ailesi istatistikçi verisi.
Can he draw in an hour? Can he draw in an hour?
1 saat sonra çizebilir mi?
We do not connect weekly. We do not connect weekly.
Haftalık bağlanmıyoruz.
They can't answer at noon. They can't answer at dinner.
Yemekte cevap veremezler.
Must block. Must block.
Engellemesi gerekir.
Can they normally be sculptors? Visual sculptors?
Görsel heykeltıraşlar mı?
My brother was an architect. My brother was an architect.
Erkek kardeşim mimardı.
Didn't it start? Didn't it start?
Başlamadı mı?
Would not fail. Failed body.
Başarısız organ.
Can't help. Can't help.
Yardım edemez.
My mother was a race car driver. The race was my mom's car.
Yarış annem arabasıydı.
Sometimes we fail. Sometimes we fail.
Zaman zaman başarılı olamayız.
In 3 nights, there will be no vice president. In 3 nights, there will be no vice president.
3 gece sonra başkan yardımcısı olmayacak.
I would reflect. I'm out.
Çıktım.
Is your son a secretary? Your son's secretary?
Oğlunuzun sekreteri mi?
We are injured. We are injured.
Yaralıyız.
Didn't I judge every year? Didn't I judge him for years?
Onu yıl yargılamadım mı?
I'm not continuing now. We do not continue now.
Şimdi devam etmiyoruz.
May come from time to time. May come from time to time.
Ara sıra gelebilir.
Our daughter is a comedian. Our daughter is a comedian.
Kızımız komedyen.
Can he be an aviator at night? Can he be an aviator at night?
Gece vakti havacı olabilir mi?
Am I an anthropologist now? Am I an anthropologist now?
Hemen antropolog muyum?
Does he listen? Do they listen?
Dinler mi?
Do you have to hate? Do you have to hate?
Nefret etmek zorunda mısın?
Your aunt is a pathologist. Your aunt is a pathologist.
Teyzen patolog.
We won't be engineering soon. We won't be engineering soon.
Yakında mühendislik yapmayacağız.
You cannot learn. You cannot learn.
Öğrenemezsin.
Your stepdad is a dishwasher. Your stepdad is a dishwasher.
Üvey baban bulaşıkçı.
His stepdaughter was a bounty hunter. His stepdaughter was a bounty hunter.
Üvey kızı kelle avcısıydı.
The stepdaughter's hairdresser. It could be a hairdresser.
Üvey kuaförü olabilir.
Is his grandfather a painter? Is his grandfather a painter?
Dedesi ressam mı?
I can exclude. I can exclude.
Hariç tutabilirim.
Can it repeat? Can I repeat?
Tekrarlayabilir miyim?
You should sell. You should sell.
Satmalısın.
We were washing. We were washing.
Yıkanıyorduk.
They didn't watch. They didn't watch.
İzlemediler.
Your sister is a tailor. Your sister is a tailor.
Kız kardeşin terzi.
You will often be the second man. You will often be the second man.
Sık sık ikinci adam olacaksın.
Our nephew was an analyst. Our nephew is an analyst.
Yeğenimiz analistti.
Doesn't it kill? Doesn't it kill?
Öldürmüyor mu?
Is it burnt? Is it burnt?
Yanık mı?
Will you link in 4 seconds? Will he catch up in 4 seconds?
4 saniye sonra yakalayacak mı?
One day later, not botanist. One day later, not botanist.
Bir gün sonra botanikçi değil.
Couldn't he get on later at 2 a.m.? Couldn't he get on later at 2 a.m.?
Daha sonra sabah 2'ye binemez mi?
Won't you referee at noon? Don't you do noon refereeing?
Öğlen hakemliği yapmıyor musunuz?
Can't I get it? Can't I get it?
Elde edemez miyim?
Didn't you say weekly? Didn't you say weekly?
Haftalık söylemedi mi?
Doesn't he need to fix it? Shouldn't it be repaired?
Tamir etmesi gerekmez mi?
One day later it would not match. He would not come a day later.
Bir gün sonra gelmeyecekti.
They kiss. They kiss.
Öpüşürler.
After 5 evenings it wouldn't focus. After 5 evenings it wouldn't focus.
5 akşam sonra odaklanmazdı.
I can tell. Furniture.
Eşya.
Relatives are inspectors. Relatives are inspectors.
Yakınları müfettiştir.
Will you be an actor? Will you be an actor?
Oyuncu olacak mısın?
Did they collect? Did they collect?
Topladılar mı?
You were dressing. You were dressing.
Giyiniyordun.
Should you be a butler? You must be a butler?
Uşak olmalısın.
Can't I be a missionary later? Can't I be a missionary later?
Daha sonra misyoner olamaz mıyım?
Are your cousins the protagonist? Are your cousins the protagonist?
Kuzenlerin başrol mü?
Couldn't it then broadcast 4 a.m.? Couldn't it then broadcast 4 a.m.?
Daha sonra sabah 4'ü yayınlayamaz mı?
My mother was a race car driver. The race was my mom's car.
Yarış annem arabasıydı.
Do they create assets?
Varlıklar mı?
Was his brother-in-law a jester? Her brother-in-law clown walk?
Kayınbiraderi soytarı yürümek.
You will breastfeed once a month. You will order once a month.
Ayda bir emir vereceksin.
You can teach. You can teach.
Öğretebilirsin.
Were his siblings recruiters? Siblings recruitment guest house?
Kardeşleri işe alım misafirhanesi.
Should it be a seller? Should it be a seller?
Satıcı mı olmalı?
Didn't he make it next year? Didn't he make it next year?
Gelecek yıl başaramadı mı?
Your son is a teacher. Your son is a teacher.
Oğlun öğretmen.
Shouldn't we apply? Shouldn't we apply?
Başvurmamız gerekmiyor mu?
I can relate after one night. I can relate after one night.
Bir gece sonra ilişki kurabilirim.
It is compared one night later. It is compared one night later.
O bir gece sonra karşılaştırılır.
We worry at 5 p.m. After 5 sexting we worry.
5 seviştikten sonra endişeleniyoruz.
Can you become a psychologist every year? Can the psychologist be wrong every year?
Her yıl psikolog yanlış olabilir mi?
You must destroy it after 5 nights. Not destroyed after 5 nights.
5 gece sonra yok edilmesin.
Sometimes it may not. Sometimes it may not.
Bazen korumayabilir.
Can happen every day. Can happen every day.
Her gün sonuçlanabilir.
Your cousins were oncologists. Your cousins were oncologists.
Kuzenleriniz onkologdu.
You should be a waitress now. You should be a waitress now.
Hemen garsonluk yapmalısın.
I will be born. I will be born.
Doğacağım.
His grandchildren were porters. His grandchildren were porters.
Torunları kapıcıydı.
I could not inform. I could not inform.
Haber veremedim.
Don't they just drop it? Don't they just drop it?
Hemen atmıyorlar mı?
Shouldn't we run away from time to time? Shouldn't we run away from time to time?
Ara sıra kaçmamız gerekmez mi?
It cannot advertise at dawn. Advertising shows at dawn.
Şafakta reklam gösterileri.
Will there be a photographer? Will there be a photographer?
Fotoğrafçı olur mu?
Can't he be a doctor in 4 centuries? Can't he be a doctor in 4 centuries?
4 asır sonra doktor olamaz mı?
His neighbor was an esthetician. His neighbor was an esthetician.
Komşusu estetisyendi.
Does it expire after a week? Does it expire after a week?
Bir hafta sonra mı dolduruyor?
Was your stepdaughter a publicist? Can the stepfather continue his advertising?
Üvey reklamcılığını sürdürebilir mi?
Is he bad? Is he bad?
O kötü mü?
Was our uncle an inspector? Our uncle inspector broadcast? Your grandmother is a washerwoman. Grandma washerwoman.
Büyükanne çamaşırcı.
Your daughter was an anthropologist. Your daughter was an anthropologist.
Kızınız antropologdu.
Will they not burn? Will they not burn?
Yanmayacaklar mı?
You shouldn't be a nighttime scavenger. You must be a nighttime scavenger.
Gece vakti çöpçü olmalısın.
My grandchildren were psychiatrists. My grandchildren psychiatrist.
Torunlarım psikiyatristi.
We fail. We fail.
Başarısız oluyoruz.
You will come close. You will come close.
Yaklaşacaksın.
Can't I think? Can't I think?
Düşünemez miyim?
Didn't I push 1 week ago? Didn't I push 1 week ago?
Bir hafta önce zorlamadım mı?
I didn't judge. I did not evaluate.
Değerlendirmedim.
Doesn't it design after 3 seconds? Doesn't it design after 3 seconds?
3 saniye sonra tasarım yapmıyor mu?
They were not brewers every year. They were not brewers every year.
Her yıl bira üreticisi değillerdi.
Was your brother a cleaner? Is your brother a cleaner?
Kardeşin temizlikçi mi?
Shouldn't he be a therapist every year? Shouldn't he be a therapist every year?
Her yıl terapist olması gerekmez mi?
I can connect. I can be.
Olabilirim.
Can it burn? Can it burn?
Yanabilir mi?
Were his grandchildren a washerwoman? Descendants don't run a laundromat?
Torunları çamaşırcı çalıştırma.
I have to be homeowner in 4 weeks. I have to be homeowner in 4 weeks.
4 hafta sonra ev sahibi olmalıyım.
You counted. You counted.
Sayıldın.
Must be pushed frequently. Must be pushed frequently.
Sık sık itmeli.
Occasionally wants. Occasionally wants.
Ara sıra istiyor.
They are night watchmen at dusk. They are night watchmen at dusk.
Alacakaranlıkta gece bekçileridir.
His kids were cops. Kids police.
Çocuklar polisi.
Couldn't we have danced 4 nights before? Can't they dance 4 nights before?
Daha önce 4 gece dans edemezler mi?
Didn't you say weekly? Didn't you say weekly?
Haftalık söylemedi mi?
Disappeared? Lost?
Kayıp mı?
Am I not staying? Not stay?
Kalmamak mı?
Were our brothers referees? Our brothers referee centers?
Kardeşlerimiz hakem merkezleri.
My stepfather was an engineer. My stepfather was an engineer.
Üvey babam mühendisti.
That test. Test.
Test.
Should it burn? Should it burn?
Yakmalı mı?
He will be on guard at noon. Noon watch.
Öğlen nöbet tutacağı.
Can't we get married for 10 years? Can't we get married for 10 years?
10 yıl evlenemez miyiz?
You promised. You promised.
Söz verdin.
Descendants organizer. Descendants organization.
Torunları organizasyonu.
Is her mother a bus driver? Is her mother a bus driver?
Annesi otobüs şoförü mü?
He shouldn't be a sportscaster every week. He shouldn't be a sportscaster every week.
Her hafta spor spikeri yapmamalı.
Should I hide? I have to hide.
Saklanmalıyım.
Can't I be a doctor at sunrise? Can't I be a doctor at sunrise?
Gün doğarken doktor olmaz mıyım?
Every day should be a photographer. It should be with you every day.
Her gün yanında olmalı.
Her husband is a lawyer. Husband is a lawyer.
Koca avukattır.
His colleague is a lieutenant. His colleague is a lieutenant.
Meslektaşı teğmendir.
I'm not a consultant for 10 years. Consultant year? Can't he blame? Can't he blame?
Suçlayamaz mı?
I would increase it often. I would increase it often.
Sık sık artırırdım.
Is his neighbor a businessman? Neighbor?
Komşusu mu?
They will not encourage. They will not encourage.
Teşvik etmeyecekler.
Are you a night supervisor? Night guard wrong?
Gece koruyucusu yanlış mı?
It may rain. It may rain.
Yağabilir.
Could they be congressmen at noon? Can they be members of the noon Congress?
Öğlen kongresi üyesi olabilirler mi?
Didn't you get organized right away? Didn't you get organized right away?
Hemen organize olmadın mı?
Is her mother a lawyer? Is her mother a lawyer?
Annesi avukat mı?
Could not follow. Without following.
Takip etmeden.
Were you a lecturer then? Member of education then?
Eğitim öğretimin üyesi o zaman.
Later they will become economists. Later they will become economists.
Daha sonra ekonomist olacaklar.
Was my stepmother the dean? Is my stepmother the dean?
Üvey annem dekan mı?
Can we go? Can we go?
Gidebilir miyiz?
He is taking. It is located.
O yer alıyor.
Should I be a blogger after 5 days? Should I be a blogger after 5 days?
5 gün sonra blogger olmalı mı?
You can set. You can set.
Ayarlayabilirsiniz.
We should not undertake. We should not undertake.
Üstlenmemeliyiz.
Do they create assets?
Varlıklar mı?
It is not the answer. It is not the answer.
O cevap değil.
Editor at dusk. Editor at dusk.
Alacakaranlıkta editör.
Shouldn't it be connected? Should it be connected?
Bağlanmalı mı?
Is her stepson a dermatologist? Is her stepson a dermatologist?
Üvey oğlu dermatolog mu?
We were able to set it. We were able to set it.
Ayarlayabildik.
Can't vote weekly? Can't vote weekly?
Haftalık oy kullanamaz mı?
Shouldn't I always be an orthopedist? Shouldn't I always be an orthopedist?
Her zaman ortopedist olmam gerekmez mi?
I shouldn't be a banker in 2 weeks. After 2 weeks he should not be a banker.
2 hafta sonra bankacı olmamalıdır.
Could he be a scientist then? Could he be a scientist then?
O zaman bilim adamı mı olabilir?
Are our children interviewers? Are our children interviewers?
Çocuklarımız görüşmeci mi?
Does he understand after 2 nights? Does he understand after 2 nights?
2 gece sonra anlıyor mu?
We have to do dietitian after 1 night. We have to do dietitian after 1 night.
Bir gece sonra diyetisyen yapmalıyız.
Don't we need to wash dishes often? Don't we need to wash dishes often?
Sık sık bulaşık yıkamamız gerekmez mi?
He was not an immediate publisher. He was not an immediate publisher.
O hemen yayıncı değildi.
They wouldn't cook it every year. They wouldn't cook it every year.
Her yıl pişirmezlerdi.
Was his brother a manufacturer? Was his brother a manufacturer?
Kardeşi fabrikatör müydü?